I asked a couple of people living there, but they didn't know. Can you believe that? Not even knowing who your own neighbours are?
Well, if you'd like to leave a message, somewhere Mr. Cruikshank can contact you.
Well, I was only in town for the night, just to straighten out a few things. Just on my way to the airport now. If he's not home, I could live with the people next door, if I know what flat he's in.
You say you know the rest of the address?
Yeah, right here in front of me.
Just a minute. Are you there? It's flat number 3.
Thanks a lot, love. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I wouldn't bet on it.
As if my nerves aren't frayed enough without those workmen clattering around in the rec room first thing in the morning.
You and the rest of us.
Well, I hope our new councillors have got their wits about them. I'm trying to set up a meeting with Mrs. Reynolds this morning.
How long do you see it lasting?
Meeting?
The council?
Well, I don't see any reason it shouldn't. Not if it works the way Maya intended. Well, we'll never achieve anything if we don't show a united front.
If we start presenting a too united front, it might get Renault's back up. She's coming down on everything these days.
Well, if this meeting comes off, we'll see how she feels. I mean, once she sees that we're trying to be responsible, she may ease off. Here you are, dear.
Right.
Oh, my goodness!
What happened?
What'd you do that for?
What?
It sounded like a shot.
What was it?
I just spotted a fly.
It's washing them, I suppose.
Cat, just keep walking, Kelly.
Did I frighten you, love?
An awful mess. Who did that?
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
It's all right, Mr. Pringle. It's nothing serious. There's no use you getting upset. Accidents will happen.
Yeah, well, they always happen to me. I'm so useless.
You are not useless. Now, don't be silly.
Half of them were cracked anyway.
Do you want me to pick him up for you, love?
I am useless. It's just one wrong thing after another.
Now, that is not true. Look at the way you were yesterday when those dreadful men were here. And crawling all the way through the air conditioning like that.
It didn't help Mara and Tammy much, did it?
It wasn't your fault.
Most of us didn't even have the courage to try. And here you are, just getting upset over a little accident.
I'm sorry.
You poor kid.
Now, look, here's a fresh air. You just blow your nose and we'll help you clean up, all right? Good girl.
But surely, if your parents are dealing with an Australian solicitor, they'd have mentioned it to you.
Well, I've not heard that much from them since the divorce. Apparently, this bloke told Pat that they'd given him something to deliver to me. I mean, maybe it's a letter explaining what it's all about.
But it doesn't make sense. If they needed a solicitor, they'd use someone they knew.
Well, he said he just got back from England. I mean, could have been there for years for all we know.
Dan, Burke is out to get you. And if the police are right, and he did rape that poor girl yesterday, then he's heading in your direction. And now we've got someone ringing the prison with some dodgy story about wanting your address.
Well, Pat did say it was just the flat number she gave.
Yeah, but you then only have to look in the phone book to find out the rest. Oh, I really think you should ring the police.
Look, let's wait and see if this letter or package, whatever, turns up. If it doesn't, we'll contact them.
All right.
Hey, you shouldn't worry so much. It's not good for you.
Looking for Inspector Grace?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Any idea when he'll be back?
Heard about the fire. Bad luck.
Luck had nothing to do with it. That's why I'm here. The Ballingers have got a contract out on me.
Shouldn't think so. Accidents happen. Can't there with the pressure you've been under.
The only pressure I'm under is staying alive. I thought I might get some help from this place, but it looks like I was wrong.
Now, don't get unpleasant. It's being investigated.
Well, you might be interested to know I've already done a little investigating of my own. I've spoken to Fellows, and he as good as admitted it. They want me dead.
Well, we better look into it then.
Oh, yes, you do that. And in the meantime, I would like a police guard so that I'm still around when you've finished looking into it.
I would have had the manpower, but...
Oh, I see. Of course, I suppose if I were to get hold of a gun and accidentally shoot Fellows, you'd soon find the manpower to come looking for me then, wouldn't you?
We'll do what we can, all right?
What the hell did you think you were doing? Burning the bloody house down, for God's sake. Oh, what sort of plan is that? Any one of 100 things could go wrong, and obviously did.
We were unlucky.
Unlucky? You don't even have the sense to start the fire in the room she's in. Did you think the neighbours wouldn't notice? That nobody had called the fire brigade? You just didn't bloody think at all, did you?
We were unlucky.
Stop saying that. You've been around long enough to know that it's the simple plans that work. Have someone walk up behind her in the street. Gun at the back of the head, bang. Done. No problems. No way to trace it back to us. Now she's gone underground, we don't even know where to start looking for her.
Yes, we do.
What?
She's staying with some friends of hers. Someone got her out the house. Name's, Terry Malone.
How long have you known that?
Oh, since yesterday. I followed her.
And you didn't tell me?
Oh, I told Spike to tell you.
You tell me. You know what's at stake here, don't you? You know Arnie Bellinger wants that woman dead or else?
Well, yeah.
Or else! He'll have my head and your head, and I'm not just making noises. You know as well as I do what happens when Arnie gets angry.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to get out and do as I told you. Only this time, do it right. One more foul up, and I'll personally cut you apart before Arnie gets a chance. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, go on, get out. And don't come back until Ferguson's dead.
I'm sorry I caused so much trouble. I didn't mean to. I feel a lot better now.
She spent a very quiet night, Mrs. Reynolds.
Good. What we have to do now is make sure it doesn't happen again.
Oh, wine, I promise. I'm not going to do something like that again.
Well, just to make sure, I've arranged for a psychiatrist to visit you, Dr. Weissman.
A psychiatrist? You're not going to send me to the loony bin, are you?
No, of course not. We just want to understand what makes you so tense sometimes.
Oh, geez, I wouldn't know what to say to a psychiatrist. Does this mean I won't be able to go out in the garden anymore?
I don't think we need to go that far. In fact, I've arranged for some time for you out there after lunch.
Oh, great, thanks.
Mrs. Morris will take you back now. And if you have any problem at all, you can mention it to one of the officers, all right?
I'll be right, thanks.
What do you think?
Well, she does seem to be coming out of it, but I'll keep up sedation until we get Wiseman's report. It'll give us a better idea as to whether the depression is related to the siege or not.
Yes, Mrs. Barry mentioned that Julie Egbert was feeling very much on edge this morning. Could be a symptom of the same thing.
Well, there could be another explanation for Daphne's problems. She's starting a period. It could be premenstrual syndrome.
Yes, I wondered about that myself, but there's no mention of it in the medical records from Barnhurst.
I noticed. I also noticed that it was a Dr. Cuthbert who made out those records.
And?
The nursing profession's been having a running battle with him ever since PMS was discovered. He just won't accept it exists. He calls it an excuse for troublemakers.
That's ridiculous.
Well, not to an arch-conservative like him, it isn't. He's still back in the 19th century.
I think it's time we started our own checking. Thanks for your help. I'll get onto it straight away.
I was thinking I might ask Mrs. Reynolds for a couple of nice old gents' screws.
I don't think that's what the council's all about, Eddie.
Any more ideas like that and we'll be laughed out of the room.
I'm only trying to help. It's more than you're doing, criticising all the time.
I didn't ask you to come in here and annoy us, did I? You're the one who wanted to be shifted out of the kitchen.
Oh, Lady Muck, is it?
Now, look, let's not bicker amongst ourselves before we even get there. It was hard enough setting up the meeting for this morning as it was.
I think we should look at buying. Now, a few extra items would go a long way to restoring morale in this place, especially since the siege. Don't you think so, Nora?
Go a long way to improving your little trade too, wouldn't it, Matt?
Now who's bickering?
If it's going to be any more buy-up, I reckon gentlemen officers should bring it in.
Eddie!
Typical, isn't it? The slightest little change in your routine and you're all off chasing your tails again. What's the matter with you, Beecham? You look surprised to see me in one piece.
Why didn't you kill Ballinger? We hear you had